Hello and welcome to all our viewers and a special shout out to our wonderful telecom community. I'm Rafi and today we are diving deep into inside plant cabling or ISP. Okay, we have been outdoors with the OSP cables, but what about when these cables come inside? That's where ISP cabling enters the picture. ISP stands for inside plant cabling. Imagine it like the electrical wiring in your house. But instead of just keeping the light on, it also carrying all sorts of data and information for phones, computers, and TV. These are the cables that run behind the scenes in homes, offices, and even big places like shopping malls and stadiums. They are not out in the weather, so they don't need raincoats, but they do need to follow certain rules to make sure they are safe and not causing any interference. ISP cabling is what connects your devices to the wider world once the signals get inside the building. It's the final leg of journey for all that data zipping around out there. So, in a nutshell, ISP cabling is all about keeping us connected indoors, making sure that the internet, phone calls, and our favorite shows reach us safe and sound in our cozy spaces. Now, let's peek behind the walls and ceilings to see the part that make up our indoor cable superhero team. It's not just about wires, it's a whole setup working together. First off, we have cables that run between floors. They are like the building's veins carrying data up and down to make sure every floor stays connected. Up above, in the ceilings, cables are hidden away, neatly running across the top of the rooms. They are out of sight but always working hard to link up every light, computer, and phone. And then in the walls, we have got more cables tucked inside. Some even run through special tubes called conduit. These are like protective tunnels keeping our cables safe inside the building. Coming up next are patch panels. Think of them as the control rooms where cables from all over the building come in, and you can switch connections around like playing musical chairs. Lastly, we have what's called termination blocks. These are like the end of the line stations for cables where they get connected to different devices or continue on to other places. So these are the stars of the show inside our buildings. Cables that travel between floors, through ceilings and walls, conduits that protect them, patch panels to keep things organized, and termination blocks to make the final connection. Together, they make sure that our calls, streaming, and all that internet surfing can happen without the hit. Let's dive into the types of cables you might find buzzing with data inside the walls and ceilings. There are mainly three kinds of twisted pair: coaxial and fiber optic. Each one has its own special job. First up, there's the twisted pair cable, which is a super common type. It's made of pairs of wires twisted around each other. The twists keep the signal on the wires from getting mixed up. You might hear names like Cat5e or Cat6. These are just different versions like newer and faster models of a car. Then we have coaxial cables, or coax for short. These are like the sturdy old trucks. They have a single copper wire at the center with a thick armor around it. Coax is tough and can carry signals for internet, TV, and more over long distances without getting tired. Last but not least, there's fiber optic. These are the high-speed trains of the cable world. They use light to send information at incredible speed. Imagine watching a movie with zero waiting. That's what fiber optics can do. So, whether it's twisted pair cables with their twists and turns, coaxial cables with their sturdy build, or fiber optic cables with their lightning-fast light, each one has a special role in keeping our digital world spinning. Getting cables set up inside can be tricky. It's not just about laying them down. There are a few hiccups along the way that need smart handling. First off, there's something called electromagnetic interference, or EMI. for short. It's like a bunch of invisible noise that can mess with the cable's signal. Imagine trying to listen to your favorite song while someone else is blasting a different tune right next to you. Not fun, right? Then we have got to think about space. There's only so much room in walls and ceilings. Cables need to be organized neat so they don't end up like a tangled mess of holiday light. And super important is fire safety. Buildings have rules to make sure that if a fire starts, it doesn't spread because of the cables. That means using special cables that don't help the fire grow. So, with all these things, the invisible noise, tight spaces, and fire safety, it's a bit of a puzzle to get cables installed right. But with careful planning and the right equipment, it can be done smoothly, keeping our calls and streams clear and safe. Now, for every challenge our indoor cables face, there's a clever trick up the sleeve to deal with it. Let's check out these smart solutions. Against that invisible noise, EMI, we have got shielded cabling. It's like giving the cables a superhero cape that blocks out all the pesky interference. This keeps our signals clear and free from that annoying noise. Space for cables in buildings can be tight, and we have got to think about fire safety. That's where plenum-rated cables come in. These cables are like fire-resistant jackets, slowing down smoke and flames, making everything safer. And when it comes to fitting all these cables into small spaces, we use strategic cable management. Imagine getting your closet super organized. Cable managers are like those shelves and bins but for cable, keeping them tidy and out of each other's way. So, shielded cables for blocking interference, plenum-rated ones for fire safety, and smart organization to make the most of the space. That's how we tackle the challenges of running cables indoors, keeping our digital lives humming along smoothly. Alright, so we know how to protect our indoor cables with all these smart solutions, but who makes these rules? Let's take a quick look at the big rule makers for ISP cabling. First up are the ANSI, TIA, EIA standards. Think of these as the ultimate guidebook for cables. They cover all the do's and don'ts, like how to test if a cable is strong enough or how it should be installed to keep our data zooming along. But it's not just about data. We also have local building codes. Imagine these are the rules of the house that make sure everything is safe and sound. These codes tell you where and how you can run cables inside a building so that they won't cause any trouble in an emergency. So, between the ANSI, TIA, EIA guidebook for getting the best performance out of our cables and the local building rules for safety, we have got a solid set of instructions to follow. It's like having a recipe that chefs use to make sure our digital meals don't just taste great but also good for us. Quick question. What are the different types of twisted pair cables? Cat 6, Cat 5, Cat 5e, all the above? Please leave the answers in the comment section. If you enjoyed our adventure and want to keep up with all the tech talk, go ahead and hit that subscribe button or give us a follow. It's the best way to stay connected to our content and join our growing community. And don't forget, your thoughts and questions make this all even more exciting. Drop us a comment below. We would love to hear what you think or what you're curious about. Your feedback is the spark that keeps our ideas flowing. Feeling the love, hit the like button, share the video with your friends, and let's spread the knowledge. Every click helps us bring you more of the content you want to see. Thank you again for watching. We can't wait to dive into more topics with you. So stay tuned, stay connected, and let's shape the future of tech together.